Here in the United States, there's kind of a different type of pandemic going on than the one that you're thinking of off the top of your head when I say that word. Cancel culture and people complaining over absolutely ridiculous things has reached a fever pitch. It's gotten to the point where even middle-aged women are now just out here finding something to be offended about. Now, conveniently, this is the same group of people getting upset over a show/network on TV that are, always the ones who are always saying things like, oh, the younger kids today are a bunch of snowflakes. They can't handle anyone saying anything. I don't understand why they can't just grow up and deal with it like the rest of us. So, if you're younger, you've probably heard that from at least 4 different people. And, it's pretty insane, but believe it or not, being offended and getting upset over very minuscule things has no age gap, I guess. There's no barrier in age that really protects you from that. So you probably know about Adult Swim. It's one of the better networks on television. At this point, most people don't even really care about cable anymore, if they even have it in the first place. And those of us who actually do have YouTube TV or something like that, Adult Swim and the shows on it are generally some of the best that you can actually watch because cable is just garbage at this point. I mean, yeah, I don't understand why people pay for it. But Adult Swim has helped produce some of the most iconic shows of all time. Adult Swim is even partially responsible for Family Guy even existing as long as it did. You might say that that's a bad thing, especially with the recent seasons, but fun little fact before we go too much further, when Family Guy was first canceled, actually, reruns of the show on Adult Swim were so popular along with sales of the DVDs that the show was brought back. So Adult Swim has more or less cemented its place in pop culture history, and people between the age of 15 and 35 probably have a lot of fond memories with it. But hey, you know what? It's honestly one of the worst things ever, okay? Now that I kind of get to think back on it, Adult Swim is one of the worst things of all time, and it's dangerous. Now, considering Adult Swim has been around pretty much ever since I've been alive, and I'm a 20-year-old man at this point, I would figure that people were already kind of aware that it existed. I mean, it has garnered plenty of controversy over time anyway, from the subject matter that the shows on which Adult Swim airs actually even contains. But as you're about to see by this tweet that led to a pretty big discussion, I guess, apparently this is something that is still now falling upon brand new ears. Cartoon Network After Hours. They throw it in your face. They hope you aren't the kind of parent who monitors what you and your kids watch and do. They're busy conditioning them. What is this, Alex Jones? What do you see here? I see witches abusing babies. This is not okay. This is not funny. Hashtag these people are sick. Yeah, so that's a pretty goofy tweet in the first place. I'm not sure if I really have to go too far in depth on even why this is stupid to begin with, but Cartoon Network and Adult Swim are not the same thing. They do run on the same network, but they are not the same thing. Cartoon Network is for children. Adult Swim, I mean, literally right in the name, is for adults. To put it very bluntly, your children are not meant to watch Adult Swim. When they tune onto that network, they have like 18 hours of the day to themselves, and they have all of that video and whatnot pushed to them there. Your kid is not supposed to be fucking watching South Park, Family Guy, Robot Chicken, any of it, right? Aqua Teen Hunger Force, some of like the older anime and whatnot. Those are not meant for your children, those are meant for adults. I mean, it's almost like that's the reason that the network actually named this program Adult Swim. Just conveniently, that was named Adult Swim. I wonder why that was. And yeah, honestly, I will agree with you on the point that they do throw it in your face. Cartoon Network makes it very apparent that at a specific time every single night, the cartoons are over with, the children's programming is over with, and now it is more profane and more mature adult-rated content being played. Now, I haven't had actual cable in a long time, like YouTube TV. I don't really think that kind of stuff counts because, I mean, it's not really the same thing. But when I remember watching Cartoon Network as a child and, it was about time for Adult Swim to come on, which is a set time every night. It's not like they just bring it on randomly in the afternoon or anything like that. It would basically say, yeah, Cartoon Network's over with and now over to Adult Swim. And it would like give you a goodbye message. And then, of course, transitioning into the Adult Swim program, it would literally just say like the content will not be suitable for some audiences. And there would be an adult rating that came on the screen. Or a mature rating, I should say, not an adult. But yeah, you're right. Cartoon Network throws it in your face, the fact that it's not fucking meant for your child. And, I just gotta say, parents, I know that in recent years, especially like here in the United States, you have become conditioned to the point where you believe that it's other people's fault that you can't properly raise your children. I know that the fault It's no longer with the parent. The responsibility is no longer bared by the person raising the child. But at a certain point, you have to just step up and say, hey, I kind of fucking suck at being a parent, and I have no idea how to keep my children in check and what they do and watch in check. And just go ahead and keep it pushing. I'm also going to keep it a buck with you here, okay? They're not busy conditioning your children with fucking Adult Swim, okay? If you've ever watched any shows on Adult Swim, they're all completely ignorant, okay? They're stupid. They're meant for potheads to laugh at, okay? They're meant for losers like me who sit around and stay up all night to sit there and watch because we have nothing better to do. Adult Swim is not a baby conditioning factory, okay? If you want to worry about your children being conditioned, perhaps you should worry about some of the YouTube videos that they watch. Maybe myself is one. I couldn't be one of those channels, I guess, that you consider conditioning because I want your child to fucking know that their parents are failing at responsibly raising them and whatnot. You know, the SpongeBob content that you see here on YouTube, the made for kids quote unquote content, that's pretty conditioning, I'd say. I mean, your kid's not watching Fox News, they're not watching CNN. What are they being conditioned? Are they being conditioned to think that hillbilly squids are real? Are they being conditioned to think that South Park is something real? Like, what are they being conditioned for? You know, once again, like, this is only something I think that can be said by somebody who has, like, just absolutely never even attempted to turn the channel on and watch what's on there. And I love they hope you aren't the kind of parent who monitors what your kids watch and do. Yeah, there's no way that you actually monitor what your kids watch and do because there's no chance that it took you 20 years to figure out the existence of Adult Swim. How does it take you 20 years to figure out that your kids are watching some fucking adult cartoons? How does that work? For a little while as a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch South Park because, well, I mean, to be fair, South Park maybe isn't a show that 7-year-old me should have been watching, but you know why? Because my parents were pretty goddamn aware of everything that I was watching on television, okay? It wasn't something where, I don't know how parents today behave, where they just somehow can't figure out what's going on. They don't know how to, like, monitor what their kids are doing. And you'd think it'd be the easiest thing to do on planet Earth, because as time has gone on, parental controls are all over everything, all over their phones, their tablets, their televisions, their Netflix accounts. Parental controls are built into everything entertainment these days. So the fact that your children are watching Adult Swim and you couldn't figure it out is your fault. At a certain point, we gotta stop blaming TV networks for the issues going on in your household, okay? At a certain point, we gotta stop blaming people who live on the other side of the country for problems going on in your household. I know that it hurts sometimes for parents to, like, just take the responsibility and say, hey, I'm kind of shitty at being a parent. I've been messing up, and hopefully I can fix what I'm doing. I know that hurts. I know that a lot of you have self-growth issues, like you're afraid to admit that you're wrong and to benefit from that. But once again, at a certain point, you just gotta open your eyes up a little bit here. Like, you've gotten to the point where you're talking about Adult Swim being witches abusing babies, and that it's not funny. Adult Swim is the funniest shit on television. What do you mean? Yeah, maybe your 8-year-old child doesn't think it's the funniest stuff that they can see, because guess what? It's not intended for them. And at a certain point, you also gotta notice, hey, if I don't like Adult Swim, maybe not meant for me. Like, I'm just so sick and tired of this culture that we've festered in this country, and in reality, it's probably becoming a global problem at this point, where no one can just fucking own up to what they did, where no one can just say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I just wasn't paying attention to my kid, and something happened. I'm so sick and tired of, like, every time some idiot on the internet figures out that, like, something exists that just doesn't align with their morals or doesn't align with what they want, that they feel that they personally are responsible for getting rid of it. And this is shit that's gone on for a long time. The culture here in the United States of canceling shit that we don't like goes on a lot further than most people think. It's not some recent internet trend. People have been crying about South Park, Family Guy, all kinds of these different shows since the 1990s. The Simpsons has had controversial points since, like, it really began. Americans, for pretending to be, like, these big, rugged people who can handle anything, we sure do act like pussies a lot of the time for no reason. I'm just so sick and tired of it, man. Like, my whole life I've seen this happen, right? Where, oh, we have to think of the children. We have to think of all the kids. Oh my god, what would they possibly do if they heard someone say asshole on the TV? And the most ironic thing about it is you can, like, just literally look at these people and just fucking tell that the same things that they're upset about happening on Adult Swim are the things that are going on in their household. There's too much swearing. It should not be airing behind Cartoon Network. Brr. But then these people have the biggest sailor mouths that you can possibly imagine. It's the hypocrisy of the American culture at this point. I get it, but I'm just so personally sick and tired of it. Like, can we have literally anything in this country where people don't try to tear it and just, like, rip it apart? Is there allowed to be anything funny? Is there allowed to be anything enjoyable? I guess not. I guess not. But anyway, that's all I really have to say about this. It's absolutely ridiculous. Adult Swim is awesome. It needs to be left alone by stupid people. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter, Twitch, and Storyfire at SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus. Literally just going to go intentionally watch Adult Swim now on YouTube TV in order to just go ahead and try and boost the ratings, and signing out.